What's up, guys? Zach, aka Epilepsy here, bringing you the first episode of my newest series, Deck Tech, where I'm going to be giving you guys a deck profile of the deck I use in my other new series, Battle Factory. Now, if you guys haven't seen my Battle Factory, it is a new series where I'm going to be using one deck in a battle against my friend who's going to be using another deck, and then I'm going to do the deck tech of the deck I use. We're going to switch decks, and then I'm going to do the deck tech of that. So I'm hoping to maybe get at least 2 videos a week of just this. Maybe even more. I will be using this deck probably a few times on just the Versus ladder, just because it's always good to get a few matches out. I do have a few decks already prepared in the back, so we have some videos coming out, and I'm always thinking of and making new decks. And my friend, he is also making new decks, so we will be giving you guys fresh content, hopefully. But you guys aren't here because of my new series. You guys are here because of Lycanroc-GX, or how I like to call him, Lysandre. Because doesn't this ability look familiar? Bloodthirsty Eye. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon. Doesn't that sound familiar? I'll give you a minute. I just give you a minute right now. Oh, Lysandre. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with one of his active. Huh. That is really funny. It really familiar. Yeah, Lycanroc has the same effect as Lysandre. So it is an awesome card. You can work around your opponent, say that they're running a Alolan Ninetales and you don't want to do a bunch of damage to it because it's going to Ice Path GX you. You can easily work around that by Lysandering out something that can take a KO on, like a Shaman or an Oranguru, a Drampa, even a Lapras. If you can trap a Lapras in and get some knockouts like that. Manaphy EX. There's tons of ways to work around these cards, and Lycanroc is able to do that. I know a lot of people are forced to use Lysandres in decks. This is the new Lysandre, and it's one of my favorite cards. I mean, look at this design. It is beautiful. He is looking very hungry with those bloodthirsty eyes. But that's not the only part that makes this card good. Let's get into its attacks. For a fighting and 2 colorless energies, you do Claw Slash, which is only 110 damage. That's kind of for 3 energy cost. But think about this. You slap on a Strong Energy and a DCE. You're doing 130 damage. You get a Choice Band, 160 to GX and EX Pokemon. You get a Kukui, you're able to knock out Tapu Lele, Tapu Koko. You can knock out already Tauros. You can knock out Drampas. You're going to be knocking out those basic EX cards and GX cards. Now, you are going to miss knockout on Lapras and Wishy-Washy and Alolan Ninetales, but there are ways that you can get the KO on those cards. And that is the awesome GX attack, Dangerous Rogue GX, for fighting in 1 colorless energy. So it's very easy to set up. It does 50 times the number of Pokemon on your opponent's bench. They get 3 Pokemon on their bench, that's 150. You have a Strong Energy, you're doing 170 right there. That can one-shot Tapu Koko, Tapu Lele, and not Tapu Bulu. I think Tapu Bulu has 180. But you get 4, you're doing 200, plus a Strong Energy, you're doing 220 damage. You throw on a Choice Band, you got 250. You're able to KO the heaviest of GX cards. You got Metagross, Solgaleo, I think Lunala, Incineroar, and maybe Primarina. I don't remember all the 250 HP, but you're going to be KOing all of them. And you'd be KOing Wailord EX without the Fighting Fury Belt. You can KO it with a Kukui and another Strong Energy, but come on, what's a Wailord going to do to us? But this is not the only card that we're going to be attacking with. Lycanroc is a great attacker, but it's not going to be the only attacker. When I see decks like Garbodor, yes. Drampa, yes. Tauros, yes. I'm going to use Lycanroc. I'm going to snipe off these cards. Darkrai, definitely, because you need to stop Darkrai before it gets set up. So what other cards will I be using to attack with? Well, it's this. Raichu. Yes, a throwback. A blast from the past. We got Circle Circuit Raichu, which does 20 damage times the number of bench Pokemon. Now, you can only put 5 Pokemon on your bench. That's 100 damage. Or what you can do is Sky Field. And that allows you to get 8 Pokemon on your bench. So you'd be hitting for 160. You slap a Choice Band, you'd be doing 190. 190 damage is enough to KO Lapras GX. You get a Kukui, you're doing 210. You can KO a Ninetales GX, a Alolan Ninetales GX, which is an amazing number. But to get a Choice Band, an entire full bench of 8, and a Kukui, it's kind of hard to get this combo. But when you get it, it is phenomenal because it can definitely change a game. We aren't going to be using Thunderbolt because I do not run any electric energies in this deck, which is unfortunate. But Circle Circuit is going to be the main attack that we will be using in this deck. It'll be Circle Circuit and Claw Slash / Dangerous Rogue. We do throw in another Pokemon that can attack. It is Tapu Lele-GX. But we aren't using Tapu Lele for its attack. We are using it for this awesome ability. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench, you may search your deck for a supporter card and put it into your hand. You can search for Sycamore, N, Pokemon Fan Club, Bridget, Lysandre, Kukui. You can search for anything you need, which makes... I run 3 of these, 3 Tapu Lele-GXs in my deck. So that makes me more likely to get that Kukui for 210 damage if I need to, or Kukui for 220 with Lycanroc. I can get these numbers definitely if I get the Tapu Lele, and if Kukui is available in my deck. Usually I will go for either a first turn Pokemon Fan Club or a first turn N or Sycamore. Not really going for the first turn Lysandre or a first turn Kukui. Very rare that I would even think about doing something like that. But this card is also able to attack for 2 colorless energies, so slap a DCE on this. Energy Drive does 20 times the number of damage attached to both active Pokemon. It's kind of like Mewtwo's X-Ball. But you don't hit for weakness or resistance, which you aren't able to knock out a Trubbish first turn because of that. Now, if the Trubbish had 2 energies or you have 3 energies, you can definitely knock out a Trubbish, but it's hard to get that. You would have to max Elixir on a basic energy, slap a DC on, hope the Trubbish has an energy on it, and you have to get the free switch and get the KO that way, and it's just too complicated. It's very upsetting that you can't get the KO on Pokemon like that, but we have Lycanroc and Raichu that can just easily pick up KOs late game on Garbodor by one-shotting it, so I'm not too worried about Tapu Lele not being able to one-shot a Trubbish or a Garbodor. It does have the Tapu Cure GX for 1 Psychic Energy, but we are not running Psychic Energies in my deck, so we won't be using that, unfortunately. It does heal 2 of your bench Pokemon. Maybe I should, just as something, just tech in a Psychic Energy just for the fun of it, but I don't think I'm going to be doing that. I don't think a lot of people do that. Maybe in Metagross, but Metagross is easier to set up. We are also running Oranguru as our draw support Pokemon as well. It has the Instruct ability. Once during your turn, you draw until you have 3 cards. Awesome, especially if you get hit by a Delinquent or a terrible N and you need to get more than just 1 or 2 cards. I've emptied my hand completely a few times and just been able to Oranguru and get kind of my momentum back. It's a great card. It also has the attack Psychic for 3 colorless. This attack does 20 more damage times the number, or 60 plus 20 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's Pokemon. I don't ever use this because it's awkward. I only run strong energies and double colorless energies in my deck. So I'm not able to attach a strong, so it's always going to be 4 energies attached to it, and it's just too awkward for me. I am making a deck around this, just teching it a little bit, where I don't have the certain Pokemon line, and the Pokemon line would be the Machoke Machop line, which I run a 1/1 of. I've taken these out in one of my decks that I'm testing and put into fighting energies, because basic energy is really good to have. But Machoke is another great card. Daunting pose, prevent all damage done to your bench Pokemon by your opponent's attacks, and your opponent's abilities and attacks cannot put damage counters on your bench Pokemon. So you're stopping Decidueye, you're stopping Ninetales GX, you're stopping Tapu Koko, you're stopping anything that is going to try to place damage on your Pokemon. It's an amazing card. I love teching it in because I go against Ninetales. I have yet to really go against Decidueye, but Decidueye is not a very fun matchup, mainly because Decidueye can hit us for weakness. But besides that, it's pretty awesome card to stop the whole Decidueye shenanigans. And if I'm able to get a Vileplume and get it stuck, or get him stuck, he can't hit me with like a regular attacks or something. He can't do the Feather Arrow to my bench Pokemon, so he's always going to have to hit my active Pokemon. I've had people Lysandre out my Machoke, and they just have to KO it, and by the time that's happening, I have a bench completely filled. It's awesome. I really do love teching in this card. More people should tech it in more decks. But for the last Pokemon, we are running a 1/1 line of Flareon and Eevee, which is Flare Effect Flareon. Each of Stage 1 Pokemon in play is now a Fire Pokemon. Amazing. We're running Raichu, Stage 1, and we're running Lycanroc, Stage 1. Turn those into Fire types, we are going to be able to one-shot Metagross, Solgaleo, Bulu, and Lurantis and Decidueye. Bunch of threats to our deck because we can't get the one-shot easily. We really would have to work for the one-shots, and this just makes getting one-shots a heck of a lot easier, because I don't really want to deal with Solgaleo's Ultra Road ability constantly switching, and Metagross just being able to wall out and switch out if it needs to. Not fun. Not fun at all. Just an amazing ability to help this deck get even better knockouts and do even more damage. Onto the items, though, we are running 2 Energy Lotos because we are running a lot of special energies, and it's the best way to get your energies out. I run 1 Escape Rope because Retreat, and it's a good way to get them to switch their Pokemon, and if anything, I can just Lycanroc and pull out whatever they just had. 1 Field Blower. I'm thinking about bumping this up to 2 because getting rid of their Float Stones is very important to being like Lycanrocking them to oblivion, and I just Stadium War. It's a Stadium War. It's always going to be. We run 2 Level Ball. Level Ball allows you to search for Pokemon with 90 HP or lower, so we can search for our Raichus, and we can also search for our Flareons and our basic Pokemon, Eevee, Pikachu, Rockruff, and Machop. We run 2 Rescue Stretchers to pull Pokemon out of our discard pile. I can either put a Lycanroc from my discard pile right in my hand, or a Tapu Lele in my discard pile right into my hand, or I can shuffle up to a combination of 3 into my deck, which either helps me or can hurt me. Usually I am going to be shuffling them back in my deck because it's always good to have them in the back. I don't like having Lycanroc in my hand at all times. You never know when you're going to get hit by a Delinquent, and then you just have to lose your Lycanroc again, or a very important card, or if you only have 3, you're losing it in general. I just like to shuffle it back in my deck. There's always a chance of me getting it back. I do run 2 Special Charge because we are running strictly special energies in this deck. I may or may not also raise this up because I'm able to shuffle 2 special energy cards from my discard pile into my deck. I do have an issue with energy denial decks going against me. I have to work around Drampa because Drampa is able to discard special energy. But if I can power up a Lycanroc on my bench, then go into or like a Rockruff, evolve it, pull out their Lycanroc, switch into Lycanroc and get the one-shot, Drampa's not really an issue. I run 3, yes, only 3 Ultra Balls. I'm trying to not be, Garb destroyed. I know how terrifying Garb is in this meta, so I'm trying to cut down on my Ultra Ball use. A lot of these items I don't use. There's other ways for me to search out my Pokemon if I need to, but this is mainly to get Lycanroc if I definitely need to, or a great Lele pull, because you're able to discard 2 cards from your hand. I can discard like a Lele or something, or, well, I wouldn't really discard a Lele. I have discarded a Lele to pull out a Lycanroc and then evolve one of my Pokemon, and then Lysandre, well, not Lysandre, but Lycanroc, choose one of their Pokemon, switch it, then Rescue Stretcher, pull my Lele back out, and then play it, and then get an N and or Sycamore, and just have a better hand in general after that. It's a weird combo, but I enjoyed doing it, and I wasn't going against Garb, so I didn't have to worry about it. And we also run 3 VS Seekers. It's another staple in the deck. A lot of people have been cutting down 3 VS Seekers. You don't really need to keep grabbing your supporters anymore. Tapu Lele is really good on just getting your supporters when you need it, so you don't have to keep discarding them instantly and just pull them out whenever you need them with Verse Seeker. I only run 3 because I can pull them out whenever I need them, in case I need them, but Tapu Lele is going to be my main way of getting my supporters out. For the stadiums, I do run 1 Brooklet Hill. It helps me be able to pull out Rockruffs faster. Rockruff is definitely the most annoying Pokemon to get out. It's probably the most important Pokemon to also get out, because if I don't start with a Rockruff, I'm a little bit slowed down because I can't instantly Lycanroc and start switching their Pokemon and trying to slow them down in a way. So, but Brooklet Hill, once you're in your turn, you may search your deck for either a basic water or a basic fighting. People have searched for Lapras or Alolan Vulpix and stuff, but as long as I'm not going against a water deck or a fighting deck, I will use this, and depending on my situation, I will use this against those decks as well. But the main deck, or the main stadium I will be using is 2 Sky Fields. I want to bump this up to 3. I just need to get another. Each player can have up to 8 Pokemon on their bench. Supporters, we only run 1 Lysandre, 2 N. I run 2 Pokemon Fan Club. You get to search your deck for 2 basic Pokemon and put them in your hand. Really good to get that Lele. I run 1 Professor Kukui, draw 2 cards, and then your Pokemon do 20 extra damage. And I run Sycamores. I run 3 of those. Sycamores is like the greatest draw supporter in the game we have. Well, I don't want to say the greatest. I actually am starting to prefer Hala, and I want to start taking Sycamores out and putting Hala in, because I do end up using my GX attack. As soon as they start loading up their bench, I can instantly I keep saying Lysandre. Lycanroc, pull out one of their Pokemon that they're really putting everything into to try to get it to attack. And then I can just go for a Dangerous Rogue GX, try to get a knockout. And then I can just Hala and get fresh 7 cards that way. But Sycamore is more consistent. I discard my hand and I draw 7 cards. It's just a staple. N's a staple, and Sycamore's a staple, and Lysandre's a staple. But we don't really run more than 1 Lysandre. You can run more than 1 Lysandre, but Lycanroc is already doing it with its ability. I run 2 Choice Bands. I am debating also on making this 3 Choice Bands, but it's also, I need to find room in the deck, and it's kind of hard because you kind of need everything in this deck. I run 2 Float Stones because you don't want to get Oranguru stuck. You don't want Lele to get stuck. You don't want your Lycanroc to get stuck if it needs to be in there. And Machoke and Flareon. Flareon and Machoke are definitely the Pokemon that you do not want to get stuck. Flareon can be a game changer. They can pull it out, and then they can start powering up something. And once they knock it out, say you're going against a Lurantis or a Steel deck, once they knock out Flareon, if they are just trying to slow you down, or if you start with it, It's kind of lame, and you really need it. I guess you could Rescue Stretcher it back after it's KO'd, but it's kind of a pain to do that. And since Machoke has a 3 retreat cost, Float Stone is much better. And for the energies, finally, we have 4 strong, which can only be attached to fighting Pokemon, so Lycanroc is the only Pokemon we are going to put it to. And we run 4 DCEs. So, this is the deck, guys. Check out the Battle Factory video. It is awesome. I'm going against EXP Awesome's Ninetales GX deck. We had an insanely close game, and I hope you guys really check that out because, oh my gosh, Ninetales is such an annoying deck, and Lycanroc is like the perfect Pokemon card to work around it with its ability, and you guys will see how I've been working around the whole Ninetales with its awesome Ice Path GX attack, because you don't want to do damage to that card. But if you guys haven't done it already, please give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below what you guys think, if any changes I should make, or what decks you guys are really enjoying in this meta. I have to say Lycanroc is my favorite deck to use since Guardian Rising was released. So let me know what decks you guys like using. And until next time, guys, stay safe. Later!